Making me hungry, that's for sure. Well, storms hit parts of Illinois on Tuesday and brought in tornadoes to the area. The National Weather Service confirmed an EF2 touchdown just off of Illinois Route 84. The storm took off the roof of a gas station and restaurant, which eventually landed on a tire repair shop in Kelowna. A woman recorded the video on her cell phone. That's what you're seeing right there on your screen. Debris from the business's roof landed in her yard, but didn't damage her home. The NWS says the tornado was on the ground for a minute and traveled about half a mile. And it comes as forecasters are expecting another round of severe weather today. And Brian, I know we're worried about severe weather here.
Yeah, exactly. And we've been lucky really to see some of the weaker side of some of these powerful systems to our west. Still, we picked up damage from them. This is a setup that looks very similar, stronger west, starting to weaken a bit as it gets in our area. The one difference that will stand out with this one compared to the past 2 or 3 events is we're not talking about this at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. We're talking about it in the middle of the afternoon, so therefore we do have more fuel to work with than before. So that's the reason why our threat this afternoon, especially for damage and winds, needs to be watched carefully. So the wave weather update's been out for a while. Strong general winds, which I'll cover here in a second, still on tap of the area. That's separate really from the thunderstorm side of things. And then thunderstorms are already ongoing out there now. Some of you, especially in Indiana, are hearing the thunder rolling out the window there. But we do not have severe weather at the moment happening in the area. But once we get into this afternoon, that potential starts to go up, and up. In fact, the latest from the Storm Prediction Center still has the enhanced level 3 out of 5 on the scale for all of wave country, really, except for a small section there of Adair County. This will be updated in roughly 12 minutes from now, so I'll let you know if there's any changes on that. So here are the alerts we got in effect. We have the wind advisory that is out for the general wind. That kicked in early this morning. Wind gusts will be out there all the way through this afternoon and into this evening. And we also have a tornado watch that is out. This came out within the past hour, roughly along and north of the Ohio River until 5 o'clock. Will there be another one extended south? That's usually a popular question. Chances are, given the system, I'm sure a watch of some sort would likely get issued a little further south as we into this afternoon and evening. But right now, our main focus for the first portion of this will be along and north of the Ohio River. Current gust outside running roughly around, say, 35 to 40 in some spots, but they haven't quite got to the criteria yet on a wind advisory. But once we get into more of a partly sunny, especially in central Kentucky, I do think your gusts are going to get up close to 45 miles per hour. All right, a lot to talk about. Let's start with a spooky image there in Decorah still. You guys had the round of rain and thunder passed on by not long ago. Most of the action so far has been right there in the tornado watch zone across southern Indiana, along the river, and then across central Kentucky. Again, you get that partly sunny sky. You're going to get some strong wind gusts here today. You're going to be quite warm, certainly into the 80s for this afternoon. These storms are not severe, but they do have potential right now to produce some very heavy rainfall and a lot of lightning. There's so much moisture in the air. This is a very prime setup for cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, so be aware of that and be careful. In downtown Louisville, it's okay. Much of Jefferson County, you find it's good. But once you get to the Knobs, back into Lanesville, now south of Corden, you've got that heavy band of rain. Lightning strikes showing up. These have been topping out roughly about 28 to 30,000 feet. Typically, when you get a storm closer to 38, closer to 40,000 feet, they can become severe, so they're just under the height on that. So overall, these are just heavy rain and lightning makers all the way through Clark County, Scott County, North Vernon area, and Jennings, all the way to eastern Jackson. Same ordeal. They can still grow in height, so we need to watch it, but right now they've got a limit. Back to the west. This is the main line. Look at all that lightning back into Illinois. This is going to take a different shape here. You can see some of the bowing segments on the eastern side of this. Some of this wind will bow out, so the line itself is likely not going to be a completely straight edge line as it approaches, so that will affect the timing in some areas. And still got to watch to see if anything can form near Evansville, all the way to southwest Indiana. That is possible. Something could pop, and if it did, it would become severe rather quickly. So we don't let our guard down before that line even moves through the area. There's that enhanced risk again for the severe weather from the Storm Prediction Center. Again, that update will be out soon. 78 in Louisville. I think we dropped to 77 all night last night. Very warm and humid. 75 down in Marion County. Next 12 hours will feature the rain chance going up, certainly not only with the current storms, but with that main line out of Illinois. We're thinking roughly after 3, 4 o'clock, all the way through about 8 o'clock is the main show for Louisville, especially, and then a bit later, more to the south. Our latest futurecast, which is going to focus mainly on the main line, shows it moving in after 3 o'clock. It moves into Louisville about 5 or 6. Again, some damaging winds. The main threat here with this moves on by, and it's more of a southern Kentucky issue. Then by 9 or 10, we may be completely in the clear on severe weather. So the good news is the window is shrinking down on the severe threat That's the plus side. So let's get through this and get out of the zone and move on, right? Because we do have a quieter weather pattern that is coming our way right in time for the Easter holiday weekend. And really, even in the extended, there's not much rain to talk about, but there is plenty of warm air coming our way. Olivia?
All right, we'll be ready for this rain that we're dealing with today, at least.
We're on guard. Everyone's here just in case.
Keeping you busy.
Yeah.
All right, still ahead on midday. If you like juleps and jazz, the Belle of Louisville is offering a cruise for you. I'll tell you when it's happening after the break. And if you're a fan of podcasts, we've got you covered. Be sure to check out Wave's podcast selection, including Myra Ansari's We Should Talk About It, Donji's Things I Need to Learn in Life I Didn't Learn in School, and our troubleshooters behind the investigation. All are available right now on the Wave app and on Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV, or the Apple Podcast or Google Play Store. We'll be right back.